All right, well, during this terrible virus crisis, it's been refreshing to see the bipartisanship from both sides of politics as we face this terrible scourge. In Queensland, the state opposition has been at pains not to criticise the government, while question time in Parliament on Tuesday was sombre and respectful. But that ended yesterday when federal opposition leader Anthony Albanese and his sidekick Chris Bowen started taking pot shots at the way the Prime Minister was handling the crisis. Mixed messaging and trying to play both the health and fiscal implications together were their main gripes. In fact, Bowen said we needed a lockdown straight away. He said getting the health story right first and then worrying about the economy was the right recipe. And he's right in many respects about getting the health implications under control first. No one disagrees that we need to tackle this insidious disease straight up. That's the government's key priority, and the measured, scalable response is the right way to go. But unlike the Labor Party, the Morrison government is cognisant of not totally destroying the economy, our way of life, unless they absolutely have to impose restrictions like those in Italy at the moment and Spain. Flattening the curve can be done without sending the country broke. The stimulus packages are aimed at creating a bridge so that when we do come out of this nightmare, we can bounce back from a fiscal perspective. We need light at the end of the tunnel. That's the reality. We need hope, and people are justifiably anxious and worried about their futures, their jobs, those of their kids and their grandkids. We can't just turn the lights off. Let's be very clear about what's happening in this country right now. There's a massive inequality being applied to jobs within the private and public sectors. Private sector jobs are disappearing quickly, yet where's the pain being experienced by the public sector? Nobody in government is taking a pay cut. Nobody in government has been laid off. And in many respects, it's probably the right government policy because we don't want unemployment at 40%. But it's all very well for well-paid politicians to preach about putting the health of the country first, while at the same time parking the fiscal nightmare that is engulfing us. We've got to say both, and that's what Morrison and Frydenberg are doing now. They're juggling lives and livelihoods. It's not a binary argument. These two things are inextricably linked. To get the health narrative right, we must also get the economic story right too. Forgive me for being cynical here. Should we go into a European-style lockdown and the economy is wrecked, guess who the public will blame for stuffing this up? Yes, Morrison. And Albanese and his cronies will waltz into government next time around. All I can say is I'm glad we've got Morrison and Frydenberg in charge right now. They've been measured and they're adopting the advice of all the medical experts in every decision they make. Who knows how Labor would have handled this? Their cabinet, to use a cricketing analogy, only bats to about number 4, maybe 5. Things, I suspect, would be very different right now and not necessarily for the better.